Hello, welcome to Math Companion. Now we have an hexagon inscribed in a circle. So we know the angles at the center for an hexagon should be 60 degrees. And then we know an hexagon is a six-sided shape. So therefore, what we are going to do first is to establish which is the shortest diagonal. So if I draw the line EB like that, definitely that one does not look like the shortest diagonal. But line EB is very important because it passes through the center of the circle. And if I draw line EA like that, that is shorter than EB. And the other way that I can draw another line, it's line EC. From what we can see clearly, we have three diagonals. EA and EC, they are the shorter one. So we can conclude and say EA is 3 units. EC is 3 units as well. Now, with an hexagon you can draw triangles to the center, several triangles. So if I draw like that, and I can also do another one to the center, like that, I can actually form 6 of these triangles. And the angle at the center, the angles at the center, they are going to be 60 degrees, which is calculated as, so let's say the angle at the center will be equals to 360, you divide by 6 triangles, which is going to be 60 degrees. Very, very important. We are going to use this to work our solution. Now, again, because we knew EA, so let's call the center to be center O. So EA is 3 units, and I know when I draw this line from F to O, it is going to split EA into a half, such that now we are going to have here 1.5 and over here 1.5. Now, my interest for now, it is going to be on this triangle here, this triangle over here. So we have the radius, we know this length here is 1.5, then the radius, and then definitely the center is 60 degrees. So I'm going to extract this triangle for us to visualize it properly. All right, so this is going to be 60 degrees, and here it's 1.5, and this is the radius. So for me to get the radius, it is going to be calculated as sine 60 is equals to the opposite, which is 1.5, divided by the radius. And therefore the radius, it's going to be 1.5 divided by sine 60, which can be further written as 1.5 divided by sine 60 is simply the square root of 3 over 2 because it's a special angle. Now working out the reciprocal of the denominator by multiple, it's going to be 1.5 times 2 over the square root of 3, which is going to be 1.5 times 2 is 3 over the square root of 3, which will further be simplified as 3 divided by the square root of 3, it's going to be the square root of 3. Okay, so therefore the radius is the square root of 3. Now our next move, therefore, is to focus on another triangle. I'm going to shade it here. We are going to focus on this part here, this triangle here. Now for me to find the shaded area, it's going to be as a result of working out the sector, the area of the sector. The area of the sector minus the area of the triangle. Now, the area of sector EOF. So the area of sector, so we have sector EOF minus triangle EOF. Now, working out the area of the sector is quite easy. It's going to be, we have, that sector makes an angle of 60 degrees, so it's going to be 60 divided by 360. You multiply by pi, then multiply by r squared, which is equals to the square root of 3 squared. The answer you get, you minus the area of a triangle, which is calculated as a half, times AB, or times the radius actually, the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 sine 60. Okay. Now, this, working out this, on the side, it's going to be obvious 60 divided by 360 is going to be 1 over 6. 1 over 6 times pi, the square root of 3 squared is going to be 3. Minus 1 over 2. When you multiply all this, it's going to be times 3 times 3, the square root, times 3, and then times the square root of 3 over 2, because we know sine 60 is 3 the square root of 2. All right. Now, our next step here, we are going to, working out this side here, we are actually going to get our answer as pi over 2. So our solution for this, it's going to be pi over 2. Okay. So here it's going to be pi over 2. All right. Minus, over here it's going to be 3, the square root of 3 over 4. Now, when we simplify this further, it's going to be pi over 2. No. It's going to be 2 pi if we want to have the common denominator, which is going to be 4. All right. Over, so it's going to be 2 pi minus 3, the square root of 3. All right. So we can therefore conclude that the area of the shaded part is simply equal to 2 pi minus 3, the square root of 3, divided by 4. All right, square units. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to get updated every time we post very, very interesting math questions. Have a great time. Bye-bye.